StormWatch number 13, written by Peter Milligan, art by Will Conrad. This is a new arc and kind of go a more horror aspect with it. So we open up in London in a house called the Mallory House, where a woman is currently murdering her husband while another man, a child, hard to say, is drawing things on the wall saying that I have to keep drawing, or else I'll say the naughty words, and I'm not allowed to say the naughty words. So then we get a breakdown of what in the hell's going on. Mallory House is apparently a house in London that is literally just like the worst. Like, people who designed the building went crazy. There have been currently living there are a whole bunch of like serial killers and otherwise horrible people. It says here on the 8th floor was well-mannered animal torturers. 6th floor lives the giggling garroter. 2nd floor is Miles Morgan, who keeps his organs, the organs of his latest victims, in the freezer. And then down in the basement, no one goes there because there was an incident 2 years ago and it's super creepy. But the reason that all this is happening, that they establish, is that way, way down, deep in the foundation, deep in the clay of the earth, is Etrigan, the demon, who has been kept here for centuries, eons even. And he dreams of hell, but he's unable to escape. And he's been making a psychic connection with this kid who's saying, I gotta keep drawing or else I'll say the naughty words. So he's making a psychic connection with that kid in order to free himself. So then we pick up nearby where Apollo and Midnighter, both in their civilians, Lucas and, blank on the name of the other guy, Andrew, they are out at a bar and they're just, Apollo's trying to relax. He's like, hey, we finally got a night off from StormWatch. Let's go ahead, let's have some fun. And Midnighter can't help but notice that everyone in the bar is really on edge. Like, they're all just itching for a fight. And he calls out, like, those guys are about to fight. She's going to join in. Then that guy's going to do something. And Apollo's like, dude, we are here to relax. Unless, of course, we're not here to relax. Did you come here for, like, StormWatch business? And we see the fight that Midnighter was predicting immediately break out. And Apollo's like, okay, good job. Yeah, well done. So they walk out of the bar and Midnighter explains, like, here's the thing. I used to work in this area before StormWatch. There's something wrong with this area. Like, everyone is just itching to kill each other. And, like, I don't know why. Even you have your people who are just, itty bitty little muggers or whatever, and they turn into full serial killers when they get here. Something's going on. So he's like, all right, well, should we call StormWatch? Is this a thing for them? And it's like, oh, what's that? Normal people getting in a fight in London? Yeah, no. I can hear Engineer being sarcastic already. Let's just handle this ourselves. No, and I apologize for misleading you. I just wasn't sure if you'd come, if you knew that this was kind of related to work. So then we get 2 pages of just like exposition, I guess. The main StormWatch crew, we have Jack Hawksmoor, Jenny, Quantum, and the Engineer. Quantum's trying to make sense of the giant horn that they got all the way back in issue 1. They still have no clue what's going on with it. And then they're just asking, like, why are we here? Like, what are we doing at StormWatch? Why are you here, Jack? And then Engineer comes in and says, like, hey, has anyone seen Apollo and Midnighter? And he's like, oh, I guess they bailed. Like, they're probably down on Earth or whatever. We'll find them eventually. And then we cut over to Antarctica where Harry and Emma, the Harry who defected and took Emma hostage, they're saying, like, oh, we have formed a love. We are now together forever because you trust in me and I trust in you. And it's like, yes, Harry, I do. I believe in your cause. We are going to fool the Shadow Lords and rule Stormwatch. And he's like, yes, I will. And as soon as I do that, we will be reunited. And then, like, as he's fading away, he's like, you treacherous little minx. And she's like, Harry, can you hear me? Are you going to take the Shadow Lords? You son of a bitch. So obviously neither of them trust each other. They're just playing the game, I guess. And then we go back to the issue as a whole. So they see a mob running down a street, going after, like, attacking people. Midnighter pulls out his costume and it's just like, Apollo's like, you brought your costume with you? And he's like, yeah, does that really surprise you? And he's like, no, I guess it doesn't. Anyway, Midnighter goes off, kicks some ass, and then Apollo just, like, flares up his energy and has his costume underneath his normal clothes. And he's like, oh, so you're calling me out for bringing my costume. You brought yours. And he's like, I thought you would have liked to have some fun with it later. Wink, wink. So then we see the fights continuing on. Apollo just causes a solar flare to like basically blind everybody, get them to stop fighting long enough in order to see what's going on. But then they make their way over to Mallory House, which at this point is like shaking and crumbling, and there are people jumping out the windows. And it's like, hey, maybe this is the source of all the issues. And they go in, they hear the voice of the kid saying, mustn't say the naughty words, mustn't say the... But he says, like, I've used up all my inks, I've used up all my crowns, I literally am out of blood in order to keep on scrawling. I have to say the words now. And that's when Midnighter and Apollo bust in, and they're like, hey, guy, what's going on? And he's like, too late, I really gotta say the words. And he says, concealed within the world of man, release the demon Etrigan. Because, rhyming. And at that point, a big magical shockwave goes off. We see Madame Xanadu freaking out like, oh, geez, something's happening. The Spectre's like, uh-oh. Constantine wakes up drunk at a bar. He's like, whatever just woke me up, I don't like it. And then we see the entire building start to collapse as people outside the building are also chanting the same thing, saying, release the demon Etrigan. And as the building collapses, Midnighter sees a shadowy form of the demon, and he stands up and he does his rhyming, and he's like, okay, it's still confused, it's still a little bit tired, maybe I could take it out. And Midnighter goes for a punch, and Etrigan just swats him away, still rhyming. But then at the very end, as Apollo is trying to get Midnighter up, Etrigan's like, all right, screw the rhyming, I'm done with it. Oh my god, I am going to kill so many people. And that's where we leave off, is part 1. I mean, it sure as hell set it up, I'll give it that. Honestly, it reminded me a bit of Sandman in a lot of ways. Like, it just felt like that story where it's like, oh, there's this deep lore or something like that, and then this house that's cursed and blah, blah, blah. It had a lot of vibes of that going on, of just some random kid who was selected, like... But I liked it. I really did enjoy this issue as a whole. I'd say my only issue with it is that maybe they felt like, okay, we might have new readers hopping on. Maybe they felt something else. But there was that 4 pages in the middle that were just exposition. We're just like, and in case anybody forgot, here are the other members of the team. And here's the threat of Harry and Emma. Okay, we got it? We good? Back to the story. It just felt unnecessary. But everything else I really did enjoy. It was a great setup for a start of what feels like a very big sort of thing of Etrigan has been released on the world again. How will we deal with it as StormWatch? So, and also it's hinting the link that we learned in the 0 issue between the Demon Knights and StormWatch itself. It's going to be interesting to see how that repairs. So overall, this issue gets a 7.5. Really did enjoy it. Art is a little stock standard, heavier on the inks than normal, but still very good throughout. I don't have any qualms with that, save for the odd face every once in a while. But hey, what are you going to do? So 7.5, really do enjoy it.